This is the air purifier that made my mornings quieter and my nights less worried. I saw a difference in the way I breathe at home within the first week, and my daughter stopped waking up with that stubborn, stuffy nose. The Nuwave Oxypure Smart Air Purifier fits into the large room and whole home air purifier category. It is best for people who deal with dust allergies, pet dander, or cooking smells that linger. If you have a family member who reacts to dust, or you live in a space that collects particles fast, this is the type of purifier that actually feels worth keeping on every day. I wanted something I could set and forget, that could move real air, and that would not nickel and dime me with constant filter purchases. That is why this one stood out to me. The design is a tall tower with a clean, sturdy feel. It is not small, but that size pays off in airflow and filter area. There are smooth wheels on the bottom so I can roll it from room to room without dragging, and a simple handle grip that makes it easy to reposition when I am cooking or cleaning. The top control panel has large, responsive buttons with a clear indicator light system. I can see the air quality status at a glance. When the light turns green, I know it is in a good zone. When it shifts to a warning color, the fan ramps up. The front grille draws air from the room and sends it out the top, so I can tuck it near a wall and still get good circulation. The filter door opens without tools, and every filter is labeled clearly, which matters when you are tired and do not want to play guessing games about orientation. Setup took only a few minutes. I took the filters out to remove the protective packaging, slid them back in following the labels, plugged it in, and tapped the auto setting. From that moment, I barely touched anything else. Auto mode handles the fan speed based on the built-in sensors. It senses particles and odors and responds without me having to babysit it. The difference between manual and auto is simple. Manual is fine when I want to fix speed during a deep clean with the windows open. Auto is what I use day to day. It reacts faster than I expect. I am talking about seconds, not minutes. If I start cooking onions or searing something, I can watch the indicator change and the fan speed up quickly. When the room clears, it settles down on its own. Core performance is what won me over. I can actually feel the airflow standing a few feet away. On the higher settings, it moves a lot of air, and that is exactly what you want when you are trying to clean a large space. The Profilter is a sturdy metal mesh, and it catches the big stuff like dust and hair. After the first week, I took it out and rinsed it under the tap. You would not believe how much that single layer captured. Behind that, there are additional filters that handle smaller particles and odors. Most of the filters are washable and reusable. Nuwave claims they can last up to 20 years if you maintain them. Only one of the filters needs to be replaced yearly. That design is the reason I do not hesitate to run it for long hours. It is very cost-effective over time, and it reduces waste. The filters snap back into place without fiddling, which is a small but important quality of life thing. In real use, the air quality sensor has been accurate. The purifier notices when I vacuum. It notices when my daughter uses hairspray. It notices when I open the balcony door on a windy, dusty afternoon. The fan ramps up, the indicator reacts, and within a short period, the light drifts back to green. Overnight, I use sleep mode. The sound turns into a low, steady hush that fades into the background. I am a light sleeper, and I had no trouble leaving it on all night. The lights dim, so it does not turn the room into a glow box. If you are extremely sensitive to light, you might still want to angle it away from your bed, but I found it fine. My most important test was my daughter's bedroom. She had been waking up with a stuffy nose almost every morning. We did allergy testing, and dust was the culprit. I set the purifier to auto in her room and let it run day and night for a week. The very first morning, her nose was noticeably clearer. After a few days, the stuffy mornings were basically gone. The indicator stayed green most nights, with only a bump into a warning color when we changed bedding or stirred up dust during cleaning. That was the proof I needed. I also experimented by moving it to the living room. When I cooked, it smelled like a normal kitchen for a short time, and then it was just clean air. The unit picked up the cooking smells fast. It did the same after I burned a piece of toast. The reaction was immediate, then it coasted down as the space cleared. I also tested airflow and response by placing it near the entryway. We live on a busier street, and opening the door can bring in a little dust and outside odor. The Oxypure reacted within moments each time I opened the door. The indicator changed, the fan surged, and after a short while it settled back. I rolled it into the guest room when a friend brought a dog over. Pet dander would usually hang in the air for hours. With the purifier running, the room freshened noticeably quicker, and the lingering smell did not stick to the curtains the way it usually does. There are a few things worth knowing. It is a larger unit, so you need a bit of space. Think about a compact tower fan with a thicker body. On its top speed, you will hear it move air. That is not a negative for me, because strong airflow is the whole point. But it is something to keep in mind if you plan to keep it near a television or a desk while you make calls. The indicator lights are helpful, though if you are sensitive at night, use the sleep mode to dim them. I also noticed the odor sensor can be enthusiastic. A spritz of perfume in the hallway triggered it from across the room. I would rather have it be aggressive than lazy, but it is something you will notice the first week. The companion application exists, but I honestly use the built-in controls almost all the time. The panel is clear enough that I did not feel I needed my phone to operate an air purifier. What makes this model stand out over the long term is the maintenance experience. I rinse the metal filter under the sink. I let it dry and slide it back in. The deeper filters are reusable, and you clean them according to the instructions every so often. Only one filter is a once-a-year replacement. That keeps performance high without turning filter purchases into a chore. The construction feels solid. The filter frames are not flimsy. They align well, and there are clear labels showing which side faces out. That attention to detail matters when you are doing quick maintenance in a busy house. A specific use case that shows how I rely on it now is bedtime. I switch it to sleep mode in my daughter's room a little before she goes to bed. The fan quiets down. The light turns gentle. The room feels fresh, not chemically perfumed, just neutral air. She goes to sleep without the nose whistles that used to happen. In the morning, I check the filter every week or two, especially during heavy cleaning weeks. I also like using the timer when I know we will be out of the house for a while. I set it leave and come back to a space that does not smell like last night's dinner. If you crave a tiny footprint above all else, this is not the smallest option. If you want a unit you will only run occasionally, there are simpler models out there. If what you want is a serious cleaner that is easy to live with, that you can move between rooms and trust to react to the air you actually breathe, this one belongs on your shortlist. It works best for allergy sufferers, pet owners, and anyone who cooks often or lives near traffic. It is also a strong pick if you are tired of buying multiple replacement filters every few months. The washable filters and the single yearly replacement are a big reason I kept using it after the first week of testing. This is the kind of appliance that fades into the background and just makes life a bit better. I did not expect the sensors to be as responsive as they are. I did not expect the filter to collect that much in a few days. And I did not expect my daughter's mornings to change as noticeably as they did. But they did. If you want to set it and forget it purifier that is easy to maintain and powerful enough for real rooms, the Nuwave Oxypure Smart Air Purifier earns its spot. I will leave detailed information about the Nuwave Oxypure Smart Air Purifier in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.